All right. And I guess I decided not to do a local recording of your test run, but now you know. This is crime and punishment. Serious business.
Okay. Property damage or loss.
$1,570 in shoplifting.
What the hell did he shoplift for $1,570?
Like a computer.
That's true. This game was made in the 80s?
84, yes. 1984.
Were there any weapons used or physical injuries?
No personal injury.
Okay. What was the excuse given for the crime?
The offender said he didn't do it.
Okay.
And yet
Intriguing.
he has been, a jury said he has shoplifted.
Okay.
So
Okay, let's go back to the main menu. The offender's criminal record. Status on the day of the crime.
the offender was on probation.
Okay. Prior crime types.
He has also committed property crimes.
Adult priors.
2 arrests, 1 conviction. I imagine for property types.
Yeah. Yeah. This is like, what do you mean property crimes? Like, I'm assuming breaking, entering, or damaging property. What's the offender's reputation?
He's also known as the Doc.
That gave me absolutely nothing. Not a damn thing. All right, escape.
Yeah, repeat offender on probation, like Stodies.
Yeah. Pre-sentence report. Courtroom prosecution details.
The probation officer recommends prison. The press was excluded from the courtroom.
Okay. Mental history.
He is a compulsive talker.
All right. Personal details.
The offender is widowed, drinks cheap wine, is a self-educated citizen.
Okay. Escape. Let's review the known facts.
You know he shoplifted. He is widowed, drinks cheap wine, is a self-educated citizen. He's a compulsive talker. The probation officer recommends prison. He violated his probation, after all. The press was excluded from the courtroom. 2 arrests, 1 conviction. He's also committed property crimes. He's known as the Doc. He was on probation. He said he didn't do it. No one was injured, and property damage or loss was over $1,500. In 1984 money.
Okay. Reached a verdict.
What are you doing?
He's going to jail.
Jail? Okay. How long? Sentence him to Let's Play?
11 months.
Judge sentence was probation again, only for 5 years.
I don't know. I think my sentence is better.
Only 2 gavels, so that's worse than the 4 gavel rating that you got for the last one. You remind me of a judge I knew in Kangaroo Court. You must be new at this. As a matter of fact, Judge J2 is new at this, only just having been thrust into this shit less than 15 minutes ago.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, game.
Now for your next case. Remember, it is important how, to ask for the proper information. The defendant is to be sentenced for the crime of illegal prize fixing. Ooh. White collar.
Gee, details of the crime. Let's see here. Property damage or loss?
$57,000.
All right. Offender-victim relationship.
The offender said that the victim should have been more careful.
So not repentant. Not repentant. What's the demographics then?
The offender is a 35-year-old white Protestant woman. The victims are the state and the people.
So she defrauded the government.
That's what I'm getting.
Yeah. And the excuse given for the crime?
She said she didn't do it. I know, a woman defying the trope.
Okay. Back to the main menu. The offender's criminal record. Fugitive status on the day of the crime.
Is a bail jumper.
Oh, okay. Interesting. The offender's reputation.
A regular churchgoer.
All right, so leading a double life. Prior crime types.
Prior crimes include use of illegal weapons.
Ha. All right. And adult priors.
The applesauce says bail jumper says, don't do probation.
Yeah.
Recorded priors, arrest 10, convictions 9.
You're going to jail. You're going to prison. You're going to go to prison. Mm-hmm. Escape and go back to the main menu. And the pre-sentence report. Courtroom prosecution details.
Trial evidence revealed the defendant as a ringleader. A TV reporter predicts you will imprison the defendant.
I will. The mental history.
Is occasionally psychopathic and lacks in moral sense.
Personal details.
The offender is unmarried, is addicted to heroin, and is a ski school graduate.
Okay. This is obviously a conservative crime squad leader.
Makes sense to me, small balls walrus.
All right, let's go back to the main menu. And let's review the known facts.
Illegal price fixing, unmarried, addicted to heroin, ski school graduate, occasionally psychopathic and lacks in moral sense. Trial evidence revealed the defendant is a ringleader. A TV reporter predicts you will imprison the defendant. 10 arrests, 9 prior convictions, including the use of illegal weapons. Also a bail jumper and a regular churchgoer. She said she didn't do it. She's a 35-year-old white Protestant woman. The victims are the state and the people. She said the victims should have been more careful. $57,000 in property damage or loss.
Reached a verdict. Prison.
It's possible she's a grenade-slinging psycho. Maybe she did throwing.
Zenu wants 15 years. People want 15 years, 25 years, 2 years, 12 years, 10 to 25 years. Jesus, man. I'm going to go with 7 years.
Judge sentences is jail for 11 months and 27 days. You got to remember how much they coddled price fixers back in the day.
Wow.
Like
Martha Stewart goes to jail. No, Martha Stewart goes to prison. She gets jail. Wow. And Martha Stewart, no priors.
Only one gavel. Perhaps you should study medicine. Your judicial IQ is 39.
Woohoo!
Now, for your next case, remember it is how much. The defendant is to be sentenced for the crime of statutory rape.
Oh, God. Details of the crime. Offender-victim relationship.
The offender-victim relationship is defined by the crime. Statutory rape.
All right. Fucking.
I know. First, J2 had 4 gavels, then 2, then 1. It's like it's halving every single time. The first run's the one I didn't capture in the local recording. That's stream-only content.
Exclusive victory. Weapon used?
His penis. The victim had a mental breakdown.
Okay. Demographics?
The offender is a 19-year-old Native American male. The victim was a 9-year-old white Catholic girl.
All right. Wow. Excuse given for the crime?
The offender said the reason was political.
That's terrible. What are you making me play?
Crime and punishment. You said you only wanted to do like a little short thing, so I didn't want to show you alter ego because that requires a time investment. We would have had to save and then continue that in a future thing, so I figured crime and punishment would be more fitting.
Oh man! And you know what the sad thing is? When it said political, I thought immediately to like Native American. Oh, he's getting back. He's getting it back. Oh wow. Oh man, that's terrible. Escape.
Definitely escape.
Escape. Escape so fast. So fast. Offender's criminal record. Fugitive status on the day of the crime.
The offender is awaiting a sentence in another case.
Prior crime types.
Felonies.
That's great information. Adult priors.
1 arrest, 1 conviction.
Okay.
Nondescript felonies.
Yeah, right. Let's go back to the main menu. And let's go ahead and read the pre-sentence report. Details?
The defendant was held in contempt of court. The ACLU says that a harsh sentence would be an outrage.
Okay. Intriguing. The offender's upbringing?
Had an alcoholic father and was born in Vietnam.
A Native American with an alcoholic father born in Vietnam.
And he's 19. So 1984 minus 19.
So right smack dab during the Vietnam War. Mental history? You fucking bloody black sheep. Terrible.
The offender is a hypochondriac.
Hypochondriac. All right. Personal details.
The offender is judicially separated, drinks temperately, and has a high school equivalence diploma.
Escape.
I knew this game would be great to play for my live broadcast viewers.
This is great. Oh, man. Okay. Reach the verdict. Prison. Four years.
Judge sentences probation for 8 years for statutory rape.
That's... Do I like... Am I wrong? The game is telling me I'm wrong. All I know is that in the world of today, that shit would not fly. Period.
The defender is to be sentenced for the crime of kidnapping.
Oh, God. Probation. At this point. That's statutory. What's more? Details of the crime. Offender-victim relationship.
The offender and victim were old enemies.
Was there a blood feud? Is this Crusader Kings 2?
Maybe.
Don't review. Give him 3-month probation. Done. Tell him in a stern voice, "Bat," and then hit him with a newspaper.
Kidnapping. Go to the corner and take out what you did.
Casual sex, electric chair. Property damage or loss.
$1,000. And you know, the kidnapping.
Yeah. Weapon used.
The victim has become unusually fearful.
Demographics.
The offender is a 43-year-old black Catholic male. The victim was a 32-year-old black Catholic woman.
Excuse?
The offender said he wanted money to bet on the horses.
All right. Main menu. Offender's criminal record. Status on the day of the crime.
The offender is AWOL.
Another military guy? Wow.
He wanted money to bet on the horses, man. So he ran away from his post.
They're old enemies, aka a husband and wife.
Ah.
Reputation.
He's a common thug.
Common thug. Prior crime types?
Drug pushing.
Okay. Adult priors.
4 arrests, 4 convictions.
I know, Taku. He's AWOL and I'm the one doing the court case. Escape?
Do 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 do.
Pre-sentence report. And details?
The defendant was bound and gagged during the trial. Mayoral candidate calls this a test case for the system.
All right.
You can't trust the system!
The offender's upbringing.
The offender's mother axe-murdered his father, and the offender was raised in the Deep South.
Jesus, man! Mental history, then.
The offender is a chronic bedwetter.
All right. Personal. I would have put that on personal details, personally, but let's go ahead and talk about personal details.
The offender is separated, is addicted to caffeine, and is a self-taught person.
And employment history.
The offender is a psychological counselor.
The offender is a psychological counselor.
Yes.
Huh. Psychological counselor.
Fucking chat.
An AWOL psychological counselor who is a chronic bedwetter.
I pissed the bed 2 of my mom butchered. What the hell, counselor?
All right, escape. Let's review the known facts.
Kidnapping, that's the crime. The offender is a psychological counselor. He's separated, addicted to caffeine, and a self-taught person who is a chronic bedwetter. The offender's mother axe-murdered his father, and the offender was raised in the Deep South. The defendant was bound and gagged during the trial. Mayoral candidate calls this a test case for the system. 4 arrests, 4 convictions. Prior crimes include drug pushing. The offender is a common thug, and the offender is AWOL. The offender said he wanted money to bet on the horses. He's a 43-year-old black Catholic male. The victim was a 32-year-old black Catholic woman. The victim has become unusually fearful. The offender and victim were old enemies. Property damage or loss was $1 grand.
Okay. Swear to God, if this game says probation, it's fucked up. Let's go ahead and reach a verdict. Prison. 2 years.
Prison, 16 years, 5 months.
Gah!
Two gavels! You're back up to 2.
I know, guys. I know. And the rapist had probation.
Look, kidnapping is a more serious offense in the United States in 1984 than statutory rape is. Welcome to the 80s. You just wait until you get some fucking drug crime felony shit popping up there. Bam! Like, oh,
right.
God.
Jail for the rest of your life.
Be sentenced for the crime of daytime burglary. That's nice burglary. That's burglary while people are gone at work.
Details of the crime. Property damage or loss.
He was black. Of course, he was getting that sentence in the 80s. $400,000!
Burglary. Daytime burglary for $400K. Daytime burglary, $400K.
Holy shit, that is amazing and during the day.
Did he rob Hugh Hefner? Did he steal the whole house? All right. The offender-victim relationship.
The offender and victim were barroom buddies.
Barroom
Barroom
buddies. Weapon used?
No personal injury or weapon used. It was daytime burglary.
Demographics.
The offender is a 19-year-old white Protestant male. The victim was a 57-year-old black male. They were barroom buddies.
You couldn't drink at 19. You can't drink at 19.
They were barroom buddies.
Excuse given for the crime.
The devil made him do it.
Escape. Offender's criminal record. Status on the day of the crime.
He was released on his own recognizance.
Reputation.
He's known as Lucky.
Lucky, huh? Prior crime types.
Specific crime type information is unavailable.
Okay.
Interesting.
Juvenile court blotter.
The offender's juvenile offenses include bribing a teacher.
Bribing a teacher. You can go to juvie for that? All right. Adult priors.
6 arrests, 0 convictions. Pretty busy guy for his adult life.
Yeah, right. At 19. All right. Main menu. Pre-sentence report. Courtroom prosecution details.
The probation officer recommends prison. Please speak out on the defendant's behalf.
Upbringing.
The offender's parents are separated, and the offender was born in Australia.
Okay, mental history.
He's a manic depressive and a born comedian.
Born comedian, huh? Personal details.
is a soon-to-be wed, shoots dope, and is a college freshman.
Okay. Main menu. Review the known facts.
Daytime burglary, he's soon-to-be wed, shoots dope, and is a college freshman. Manic depressive and a born comedian. Parents are separated. The offender was born in Australia. The probation officer recommends prison. Priests speak out on his behalf. 6 arrests, no convictions. Juvenile offenses include bribing a teacher. Specific crime type information about his arrests is unavailable. The offender is known as Lucky. He was released on his own recognizance. The devil made him do it. He's a 19-year-old white Protestant male. The victim was a 57-year-old black male. No personal injury. The offender and victim were barroom buddies. Property damage or loss was $400,000. Oh, excuse me, 400,000, not 400 grand. Whatever. That's not fine. Whatever.
All right. Reach your verdict. Probation. $15 years.
Judge sentences prison for 4 years
Oh
and 9
my
months.
god!
$400,000, man.
But no harm, no physical harm. In the daytime.
In the daytime, $400,000 in the daytime.
He deserves the probation. 4 years.
The defendant is to be sentenced for the crime of smuggling.
Smuggling, huh? 1980s smuggling. He's going to jail.
And for anyone who wants more information about this game and obviously didn't Google it, you can consult Moby Games about it. Courtroom simulation, where you play the judge. The emphasis lies on deciding the punishment rather than if the person is guilty or not. That has already been decided. The aim is to receive as many gavels as possible out of 10 by choosing the same sentence as a judge. Cases range from perjury and theft right up to murder and rape. To help you make your decision, you can receive information about the crime. This includes the damage caused by the crime, the villain's background, personal circumstances, and his/her motive. Be aware that the more information you ask for, the less gavels you receive. The AI can sometimes produce surprising choices of sentences.
Is the real judge just rolling a D3? Okay, let's see. 3! Prison for you! Alright, details of the crime.
Alright.
Smuggling, huh? So let's go with property damage or loss. Bless you.
800,000.
Weapon used.
No personal injury involved.
Excuse.
Well, she didn't do it. So we've accelerated here in property damage or loss. We went 57,000 then 400,000. Now we're at 800,000.
No. All right, escape.
He's just gonna go right to sentencing. Bam.
Shh. Offender's criminal record. Prior crime types.
Specific crime type information is unavailable.
Adult priors.
10 arrests, no convictions.
Okay. Escape. Pre-sentence report. Prosecution details.
Evidence showed the defendant was easily led by her friends. 60 Minutes demands an interview.
Mental history.
The defender is a transvestite.
Main menu.
Does that help you?
Again, transvestite, mental history. Again, I would classify this personal details.
Welcome to the 80s. Transvestite is clearly a mental problem.
Review the known facts.
Offender is a transvestite. That's why it's at the top, right? Evidence showed that defendant was easily led by her friend. 60 Minutes demands an interview. Recorded priors, 10 arrests, no convictions. You don't know anything about the specific crime type. The offender said she didn't do it. No personal injury. Property damage or loss was $800,000.
Reach your verdict. Prison. 4 years.
Prison, 13 years. 3 gavels. You're not ready for this court. You'd be more comfortable on a different bench in Central Park. But hey, you're working your way back up to the 4 gavels you got at the start. When your judicial IQ was like in the 70s.
Oh, God. I'm glad I'm not a lawyer or a judge. Okay.
You can't get past the rapist. What is rapist, like a final boss?
The rapist gets nothing.
It's just a 9-year-old girl. That's not a big deal or anything, right?
J2, be glad it isn't the 80s. Listen, man, the 80s had some great music. We'll go with that.
It had the mighty Microcomputer Corporation.
Did have the mighty Microcomputer Corporation with President J²JonJeremy.
The defendant is to be sentenced for the crime of terroristic threatening. I don't even know what the fuck that means. like threatening to commit terrorism? I've never heard of the terroristic threatening statement before. Can one of you, Google that shit for me? Get back to me on terroristic threatening?
AKA exercising right of free speech. I'm warning you, don't make me become a terrorist.
A terroristic threat is defined as a declaration of intent to commit a crime of violence against another with the intent of threatening a person, building, facility, or public or private person. Not excessive provides specific examples like, I'll burn down your house or I'll kill your dog. Like the threat to do something. So basically just like saying, fucking, I'll ruin your shit. I'll set your house on fire. And then it's like,
yeah.
And then it's like, then you become fearful for your life, worrying that this person might actually do it, and so I think this is going to be a probation one. Yeah. Terroristic threatening's not serious.
Reach your verdict. Probation. Three years.
Prison, 3 years, 7 months. Perhaps the reasoning is in the details that we simply didn't look at.
At least they got 3 years, right?
Yeah. You know, I'm glad that you said you only wanted to do some short gaming, because I think this works out better than Alter Ego.
Crime of forgery, huh? You become a better judge by reviewing less evidence. I like this game. Details of the crime. Property damage or loss?
$20,000. But it's forgery.
Excuse?
He didn't do it.
Main menu. I love to see actual judges play this game today and record their reactions.
I know, if I was like a PewDiePie type person who records like reactions of people playing things, it would be like, judges play, crime and punishment.
Yeah, right. Offender's criminal record. Adult priors?
10 arrests, 9 convictions.
Prior crime types?
Burglaries.
Escape. And pre-sentence report. Details.
The defendant still claims his innocence. A radio commentator calls you soft.
Mental history.
He's excessively introverted. You wouldn't know anything about that.
Not at all. Don't know what you're talking about. Main menu. Review facts.
He's excessively introverted. He still claims his innocence. 10 arrests, 9 convictions. Prior crimes include burglaries. The offender said he didn't do it. Property damage or loss was 20 grand.
Verdict.
It's great, not excessive. I'm glad I could bring that to you.
I've got a Juris Doctor watching. He's giggling like a child. Probation. Eight years.
Prison. Forgery. Serious business.
It's not.
Now for your next case. Bon chance. Criminal negligence.
Criminal negligence. Details of the crime. Property damage or loss.
$59,000 through criminal negligence.
Relationship.
The offender said that the victims were only those who asked for it.
Weapon used.
He I tried to keep a straight face, Lord. I
Are we trialing someone for buggery? My God.
The chat's making it worse. It's gonna set me off again. I've never seen this before in the game.
Demographic.
The offender is a 29-year-old black male. The victims are the state and the people.
Excuse the crime.
The offender said he thought he could get rich. For fuck's sake! I'm crying! I'm crying! I'm fucking crying!
Juris Doctor has officially raped Quinn. My stomach hurts. My stomach hurts.
So glad you said you didn't have much time for games.
This is all worth it. This is the last one. You can't beat this one.
You don't know that for certain.
Let's go back to the main menu. It's the criminal record.
Looking forward to reviewing the known facts.
Status. I'm gonna read through them all. Status on the day of the crime.
The offender left an alcohol detoxification program.
His reputation.
The offender is a troublemaker.
Okay. Prior crime types.
Specific crime type information is unavailable.
What the game? Adult priors.
Zero arrests, zero convictions.
Okay, main menu.
Now the Love Canal tragedy has been referenced. Love Canal was in caps, the proper noun. There is a history behind it. It's more along the lines of just the way it was presented. Where you'd like to go from here? Unless you want to read up on the Love Canal.
So, wait. This is actually a thing?
It's actually a thing.
Pre-sentence report. Prosecution details.
The defendant pleaded guilty. The defendant was defended by a public defender. That sentence wasn't redundant or anything.
Offender's upbringing.
The offender had divorced parents, was born in prison.
Mental history.
The offender is psychotic. He considers himself invulnerable.
Oh, God. Personal details.
The offender is single, is habitually drunk, and has a correspondence school degree.
Employment history.
The offender is a white-collar worker.
Okay.
But no, folks who had played this game in 1984 would probably get that. It'd be a bit more relevant to them than a specific proper noun. It's just the way it ends up being presented that I laughed at it.
Review the known facts.
The offender is a white-collar worker, being charged with criminal negligence. The offender is single, is habitually drunk, and has a correspondence school degree. The offender is psychotic. He considers himself invulnerable. The offender had divorced parents and was born in prison. The defendant pleaded guilty. The defendant was defended by a public defender. No arrests, no priors. The offender is a troublemaker, left an alcohol detoxification program. The offender said he thought he could get rich. The offender is a 29-year-old black male. The victims are the state and the people. The offender created another love canal. The offender said that the victims were only those who asked for it. Property damage or loss was $59,000. Yeah. The game ends up providing insufficient information for what the criminal negligence actually is, like Executive Suite.
Yeah, but at least I understood Executive Suite better.
Well, sure. That's because you watched all the hot pro tips.
Hot pro tips.
Hot pro tips.
I don't really have anything. Reach a verdict.
Okay.
$50,000 plus cost. No prior arrest.
It's
no prior
only criminal negligence as well. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. White-collar crime doesn't get anything of the sort. I mean, my goodness, right?
Huh.
It's only a toxic waste dump. Whatever. I would run like one of those things in like SimCity, man. It's not a big deal.
Prison. $12 years.
Judge sentenced jail 12 months, 28 days. Now for your next case. I know Matt's was like, yeah, he's one of the few that were familiar with the Lufkenau thing. Like, not even prison, just basically a year and some change in jail. The defendant is to be sentenced for the crime of first drunk driving. Now, you got the 12 right.
I did get the 12 right.
Created another love canal.
First drunk driving.
Mm-hmm. I imagine his first DUI.
First strike DUI. Ah, I see. Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Details of the crime. Property damage or loss.
No monetary loss.
Any physical injury.
No personal injury.
Escape. Offender's criminal record.
The only thing I want to know is his priors.
Yeah. Prior.
4 arrests, 2 convictions.
Okay. What were the prior crime types, though?
Con games.
Con games, like the Streetwalker games?
I guess so.
Or maybe like insurance fraud things.
I don't know. Insufficient information.
Don't you do that to me! Main menu. Verdict. Probation. A year.
Judge sentenced jail, 2 months, 18 days. 2 gaps.
First strike DUI. 2 months, 18 days.
Now for your next case. The crime of robbery.
That's first strike DUI. 2 months, 18 days.
Driving under the influence, I think, is a very heinous offense.
With no personal damage? Or
I absolutely do.
And no property damage?
I personally, outside the realm of the crime, think that DUI is serious business.
I understand.
I would have done more, but I'm not the one who controlled the law.
Crime of robbery. Details of the crime? Property damage or loss?
$190.
Weapon used?
None of their fault. The victim was doused in gasoline and set on fire, and was later treated at a burn center.
Okay.
This sounds like more than just robbery.
It's bad. It's a smidge. This isn't robbery. This is attempted murder. Escape.
I don't even want to hear the excuse.
No, I don't even want. I knew you were gonna say. I don't even want to hear the excuse.
Well, you didn't do it.
Offender's criminal record. Adult priors.
1 arrest, 1 conviction.
Prior crime type.
Misdemeanors.
Okay, escape. Pre-sentence report. Prosecution details.
Trial evidence revealed the defendant is a ringleader. A state commission investigates you for corruption.
Mental history.
The defender has a split personality. He acts like JR or Mrs. Cleaver. Oh. JR, huh?
By God Almighty! That is a slobber knocker!
Not that JR. You fucking
He's been broken in half! He's tougher than a $2 steak, I'll tell you.
J2 has interpreted the JR reference as Jim Ross, the longtime wrestling commentator. The J.R. Ross most likely refers to J.R. Ewing from the Dallas series. The old one that was played by the Major that ended up being in I Dream of Jeannie, and then they ended up reviving that. The character who played it, I forget his name, he died. I think either like in 2013 or maybe early 2014.
Larry Erdman or something like that?
Yeah, I don't remember the exact characters. The actor who played him. So yeah,
That's
the reference.
Stone Cold! Stone Cold! Stone Cold!
Well, I interpret that because of the Mrs. Cleaver reference as well, which, and I am rusty on this, I think is from Leave It to Beaver. So, naturally I would interpret JR to not be Jim Ross, but, you know, as God is mowing!
Personal details.
The defender is recently married, stays as sober as a judge. But that doesn't mean anything. Is a recipient of reform school honors.
Escape. Review the known facts.
Recently married, stays as sober as a judge, and is a recipient of reform school honors. Split personality, he acts like JR and Mrs. Cleaver. Trial evidence revealed the defendant as a ringleader. State Commission investigates you for corruption. 1 arrest, 1 conviction. Misdemeanors involved. The victim was doused in gasoline and set on fire and was later treated at a burn center. I don't think anything in Dallas or Leave It to Beaver involves someone being doused in gasoline and set on fire. But I'm not leading authorities on either show.
Reached a verdict. Swear to God, game. Jail. 18 months.
My throat still hurts from all the laughter. Any days?
Not even.
Judge is sentenced prison for 10 years. I guess setting someone on fire in robbery is a big deal.
Then charge him for murder. I'm looking at the crime of robbery.
Hey, it wasn't murder because the guy didn't die.
Then attempted murder. Armed robbery. Yeah, one of those things.
Yeah!
By God, it's Kane!
Reckless driving. You just want to try probating this right now.
I do. I really do. I was really thinking about it. You know what? I'm going to do it. 5. Reach a verdict. Probation. 2 years.
Probation, 7 years. 3 gavels.
Fucking game.
The defendant is to be sentenced for the crime of rape/robbery.
Oh man, so I got to combine the probation with the 18-year prison term. All right, well, can do that. Details of the crime. Property damage or loss.
$1,560.
Offender-victim relationship.
They were friends.
Weapon used.
The victim was beaten with a blackjack, then treated and released at an emergency room.
Blackjack is what you use for a fireplace, isn't it?
Blackjack would be more like a sap, an intentional weapon designed to knock someone unconscious.
Oh. Okay. Main menu?
Like, if you're familiar with the Thief games, it would be something like Garrett uses. You know, you could fill a sock with some marbles or other metal beads. Just knocks out the back of the head. Bam! You could also beat kidneys with it.
Offender's criminal record. Adult priors?
Nothing. First offense.
Juvie?
Bicycle theft.
Okay. Escape? Pre-sentence report? Details?
Evidence showed that defendant was easily led by his friends. The defendant was defended by a private attorney.
Mental history.
The defender is a compulsive spender.
Personal details.
The offender is unwed, pops pills, and is yet another self-taught person.
Escape. Read the known facts.
Evidence shows the defendant was easily led by his friends. No priors, but did have a juvie for bicycle theft. Victim was beaten with a blackjack, then treated and released in an emergency room. Offender and victim were friends. $1,560 damage or loss. Rape robbery.
Verdict. Prison. 3 years.
Prison for 11 years and 1 month. 3 gavels. Criminal trespass. What?
5. Probation. 6 years.
There you go. 6 gavels.
Woo!
There was even a jingle that played that everyone else got to hear. A very respectable score. With hard work, you may make it to the high court someday.
Yes.
Highest score yet.
I know.
Forcible sodomy. Keep in mind that sodomy is, I think that's still on the books as a crime in some states. Let alone forcible.
Yeah. Isn't forced sodomy just rape? Details of the crime. Although I'm going to regret this. Offender-victim relationship.
The offender and victim were acquaintances.
Weapon used.
The victim suffers frequent anxiety attacks.
Cryostick, so not casual sex. Demographics.
The offender is a 37-year-old white Protestant male. The victim was a 21-year-old white Protestant male.
I gotta know. Excuse?
He did it to get even.
Property damage or loss.
Almost $2,000.
In what?
Medical expenses?
In hospital bills? I was just thinking in hospital bills?
Dude, rectal damage is serious business, man. That is some serious property back there, okay?
I'm not arguing that. Escape to the main menu. I lost $2,000 of colon. Offender's criminal record. So he got wrecked.
You're welcome, Erdenshire.
Adult priors?
1 arrest, no convictions.
Escape? Pre-sentence report. Details?
The defendant was held in contempt of court. The press was excluded from the courtroom.
Mental history.
He's a compulsive gambler.
Personal details?
Honeymooning, alcoholic, expellee from a reformatory. The reformatory.
Turn to the main menu. Review the known facts.
Honeymooning, alcoholic, expellee, compulsive gambler, contempt of court, press excluded, 1 arrest, no convictions. He did it to get even. He was an older gentleman, and the victim was a gentleman. Victim suffers frequent anxiety attacks. The offender and victim were acquaintances. Almost $2,000 in property damage or loss. Forcible sodomy.
Reach verdict.
See, what J2's currently thinking of is what happened with the Native American who ended up statutory raping that 9-year-old girl, and the the punishment he got.
This is the 80s. I'm losing hair because of this.
We're always losing hair, J2.
Prison. Three years.
Prison, 11 years, 6 months. Gotta hate on them gays. 3 gavels. The crime of criminal impersonation. I'm actually going to look this up.
Criminal impersonation. All right, so not normal impersonation.
Okay, yeah. You could
Criminal.
be guilty of that. All right. Yeah, sure. Okay.
Does it make sense?
Yeah. Like, you could be claiming to be a law enforcement officer, or falsely assuming the identity of a veteran or active duty member of the armed forces for like personal gain. You know.
Details of the crime?
What about in the first degree? Oh, okay, yeah. There's like 3 degrees of it, multiple degrees. Oh, okay. Well, the 2 degrees of it. Whatever. I just fucking googled it. I think I was like in Virginia's.
That's the other thing too. A lot of these laws are state-based, so you gotta think about what state you're in when you're making these decisions a lot of the time. I'm trying to get a better score now. Property damage or loss.
Almost 1,200.
Demographics.
50-year-old white Catholic male.
Escape. Criminal record. Adult priors.
6 arrests, no convictions.
Escape. Pre-sentence report. Mental history.
He lives constantly in the past and broods around.
Escape. Review the known facts.
Broods around, 6 arrests, no convictions. 50-year-old white Catholic male, nearly 1,200 damage. Criminal impersonation.
Reach a verdict. Probation. 6 years.
Jail, 2 months, 22 days.
Oh my god.
Not bad. You received 5 gavels. Keep practicing. This isn't small claims court. Now for your next case. Bon chance. For the crime of second drunk driving.
Reach a verdict. Prison. One year, 6 months.
Jail, 14 months, 6 days. 4 gavels. You might be ready to handle traffic court. Try some more cases to improve your score. Hey, your judicial IQ is rising.
It is.
From these
Hooray!
successful cases. Sentence for the crime of murder of a police officer.
Jesus. Reach a verdict.
Do you choose the death penalty?
Yes.
Death. Prison judge chooses 19 years, 7 months. There might have been extenuating circumstances behind that. I would have to assume there were.
Right.
The crime of... Oh man, not sedition, everyone.
Sedition.
Oh, shit.
Sedition. What are we?
Sedition.
Are we in John Adams territory, huh? Huh?
Oh, man, sedition.
The Alien Sedition Acts, huh?
Liberal crime squad is alive and well, speaking out against the tyranny of Judge J2. There you go.
Details of the crime?
Ooh, a commie case. Yeah, that's pretty much how I have to interpret it.
Excuse.
He said he was upset at his mother's death. I thought he was going to say political. That would have been fitting, right?
Escape. Now, go back to the details. Property damage or loss.
How does sedition lead to that?
Escape. Criminal record. Adult priors.
One arrest, one conviction.
Escape. Pre-sentence report.
I think they just made that up. You know, maybe they did.
Details.
The defendant threatens a pre-witness for the prosecution. Ooh, a state commission investigates you for corruption.
Mental history.
Mildly anxious, he bites his fingernails until they bleed.
Escape. Reach a verdict. Prison. 15 years.
Prison, 20 years, 7 months. He received 6 gavels. Wow. That's some serious addition there. The chat's like, did he actually manage to seize control of a town or something? I don't know, like stories.
Oh, man.
Alright, you're learning the game. Yeah. Uh-oh. Not the crime of prostitution.
Verdict.
Probation.
Probation. Can you back out of this?
I don't know. Want me to try?
Yeah. Ah. Offender's criminal record. Prior arrests.
2 arrests, 1 conviction.
Escape. Verdict. Hot. Reach the verdict. Jail. 3 months.
Probation, 6 years and 8 months.
I think my sense is better.
5 gavels.
Hey! Couple months in jail? Better than 6 years of probation?
The defendant is to be sentenced for the crime of carrying a concealed weapon.
Hey, listen, Orbolt. Sex crimes in the U.S. are different than sex crimes around the world.
Get
Just
her
saying.
off the street, yeah.
Yeah.
And then back on the street in 3 months, yeah.
She might learn something while she's there for 3 months. Like knitting. Carrying a concealed weapon.
You're not even sure whether it was a male or female, J2.
Nope.
You want details?
I'm thinking. Yeah, details. Wow. Wow, J2. What? Did I say something wrong? If I did, you have to delete it. Excuse.
was upset at his mother's death, so he chose to start carrying around a concealed weapon. Perhaps his mother was brutally murdered, and so he wouldn't, feel safe unless he carried a weapon of his own.
It's just a sex worker. It's not the person who killed anyone. They could have been making money to live. And I got no problem with that. I ain't got no problem with that. Law's the law, though.
Law.
Escape. Offender's criminal record. Adult priors.
10 arrests. No convictions.
Escape. Pre-sentence report. Details.
The defendant gave the police information on other serious crimes. Newspapers call for action.
Escape.
He helped out the police. She helped out the police.
Verdict. Probation. Five years.
Jail, 20 months, 20 days.
Oh my god.
Your IQ, no.
Only dropped by 1 point though. Because it's terrible already.
Uh-oh.
Details. Offender-victim relationship.
They were neighbors.
Weapon used.
The victim has become sexually impotent.
Excuse given for the crime.
The offender said he had an irresistible urge.
Escape. Offender's criminal record. Reputation.
The offender is a political terrorist.
Adult priors.
4 arrests, 4 convictions.
Escape. Pre-sentence report. Mental history.
The offender has an average IQ.
Escape. Verdict. Prison. Eight years.
Prison, 13 years, 10 months. 4 gavels. Rape, murder. Yeah, Metal Slime Hunt, it's to match the verdict with as little information as possible.
Details of the crime.
You know, and I had thought, maybe, actual judges reviewed this. I think that's the information I heard, but then again, I was just a kid last time I played this, so it could all have been bullshit. It could just be AI generated based on, criminal, every, thing has, a weighting based on, judge input. So when all those factors combine together in this Daggerfall random case soup. What do you want to know?
Relationship.
Strangers.
Weapon used.
A booby-trapped car.
Oh my god. Demographics.
The offender is a 55-year-old Oriental male. The victim was a 23-year-old white Protestant woman.
Escape. Criminal record. Adult priors.
10 arrests, 9 convictions.
Prior crime types.
Animal abuse.
Escape. Pre-sentence report. Details.
The probation officer recommends jail time. The press was excluded from the courtroom. Jail time for rape murder. It's not a big deal. Let me get over it. Yeah, it's not a big deal, yeah.
Mental history.
He has an above average IQ.
Escape. Review the known facts.
Third IQ, probation officer recommends jail time, 10 arrests, 9 convictions, including animal abuse. It was a male on a woman. Victim died in a booby-trapped car. The offender and victim were strangers. This is a rape murder.
Verdict.
Do you choose the death penalty? Yeah, Metal Slime Hunt, it popped up earlier. J2 chose it, and the judge in question ended up saying like 20 years and some change. If it isn't a death penalty, that's got to be 20 to 25 years. Corporate J2 in action.
Yes.
Ten gavels. There's no judge you can't match. You should be Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. Might be a little extreme there, game. Yeah, I'm sorry I can't hear the offense of a rapist murder who premeditated. That's right. For the victim to die in a booby-trapped car, that had to be premeditated. What?
Dealing in unsafe products. Dealing in unsafe products.
More like Judge Broken Clock, am I right? Right twice a day.
Details of the crime. Property damage or loss.
300,000.
Escape. Pre-sentence report. Employment history.
He's a white-collar worker.
Details.
Probation officer recommends probation. The prosecutor calls for a strong sentence at a press conference. It almost feels as if almost every single one of these tips is all bullshit meant to fuck with your mind.
Yeah. Escape. Review facts.
It's up to you to to review what matters and what doesn't, like any other judge. Son of a bitch. Like color worker, probation officer recommends probation. Prosecutor calls for a strong sentence. 300 grand, property damage or loss.
Verdict. Prison. 3 years.
23 months, 7 days in jail. 4 gavels. There we go. Gotta, keep that IQ down there in the 50s. It's funny how even with 10 gavels, it didn't rise by all that much after all the 1s and 2s and 3s and 4s that the game has figured you got. Violation of parole. Clearly, you should be put on probation then.
Details of the crime. Excuse.
He wanted to impress a movie star.
Escape. 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 Criminal record. Priors.
4 crimes, 2 convictions.
Crime types.
Offenses against wildlife.
Escape. Pre-sentence report. Mental history.
Shy. He can't look you in the face.
Escape.
Wanted to impress a movie star. Like, you better have had a good reason for violating parole.
Verdict.
Impress a movie star.
Verdict. Jail. Eight months.
Jail, 14 months, 6 days. 4 gavels. It seems to be your constant now. 2/5. 2 out of 5 ain't bad. A violation of probation. Verdict, jail, 14 months.
Verdict. Jail. 14 months.
Any days?
Nope.
16 months.
God damn it.
Splendid work. You receive 8 gavels. You have a keen eye for justice.
I get the best justice scores when I don't read anything.
Assault with intent to rape.
Oh. Details of the crime. Weapon used.
The victim was shot in the buttocks with a shotgun, and it took 6 hours of surgery to remove the pellets.
Demographics.
20-year-old white male. The victim was a 28-year-old white woman.
Escape.
Yeah, intent to rape, so they shoot with a shotgun in the ass.
Criminal record. Still priors.
To arrest 1 conviction.
Prior crime types.
Child abuse.
Escape. Verdict. Prison.
Sounds like the rape intent came before the shooting. Assault with a deadly weapon with intent. Yes.
6 years.
Prison, 6 years, 5 months. Excellent judgment. You received 9 gavels. Ever consider a career on the bench? Judge J2.
Or Bolt. J2, are you kidding me? Oh, what the hell? I'm learning what the game is thinking.
The defendant is to be sentenced for the crime of false advertising.
Verdict. Probation. $4 years.
Probation, 6 years, 8 months.
I'm getting better. I'm getting better.
4 gavels.
What?
I was thinking about breaking the video. I didn't know how much longer you wanted to continue with crime
This is
and
my
punishment.
last one.
Okay.
This is my last one.
I don't read attempted in that XSI. 2E1 team. Excuse.
I was just thinking, like, I want to read every single thing, but I know that I want to get a verdict and get a better score. Oh, screw it. Details of the crime. Property damage or loss.
$37,000.
Offender-victim relationship.
The offender-victim relationship is defined by the crime.
Weapon used.
The victim was shot through the head.
Oh my god. Demographics.
26-year-old... The victim was a 52-year-old Native American woman? Whoa! Whoa! How about that? Now I know what you're really here for, J2. I know what you really want to know.
What was the excuse?
The offender said the devil made him do it. Obviously, a Native American woman, president of my America? Not on my watch.
Escape.
See, it's a good thing you wanted to ask for details.
Verdict. Death.
Ten gavels! Seems like J2 gets 10 gavels when death gets involved, so he needs more murder cases.
My judicial IQ is 66.
Basically clawing it back up from the pits.
Hey, I was down like the what? The
20s or some shit.
20s, right? Yeah, I was in the 20s, man.
Well, that means like the next time you play this game, J2, your IQ should be on average much higher.
Fucking game. Wow.
Oh, that was another. Ooh. I was just pressing escape to go to quit. There's another attempted assassination, J2. Well, this one was just attempted and not successful.
Oh, details. Weapon used.
The victim was punched in the face.
You said this. Demographics. I want to know.
Maybe this attempted assassination wasn't on, the president, but on, a diplomat or ambassador or something. Yeah,
Excuse given for the crime?
He was upset at his child's death. So he punched this woman in the face.
Escape. Pre-sentence report. This is some anime horseshit here. Mental history.
He's a compulsive spender.
Oh my god.
Which means nothing that would mitigate the crime.
Escape. This is not assassinate. This is assault. Why are you saying assassinate?
Sounds cooler.
I wish corrected to playing more. Verdict. Prison.
15 to 25 years. She's important, so the crime is higher. Yeah. I punched Obama in the face. You tried to kill him! You are fucked.
12 years.
11 years, 6 months. A half year off. Nine gavels. And hey! Now you got +3 IQ. Someone in the chat had hoped that you'd get 69. Well, there you go.
Thank you very much.
And now, the final case being forced prostitution. That's not fun for J2.
Not fun.
Do you wish to quit for today? Yes, he does. Thank you for being the judge. Court is adjourned.
Woo!
So what'd you think?
I was better at Executive Suite.
You think it was better than Executive Suite?
No, I said I was better at Executive Suite.
Oh, okay. Do you think it's better than Executive Suite?
No. No, I think there's too much randomness there. Plus, it's... Again, I'm basing 2014, well now 2015, law logic. And what I've seen, read, and heard on various news cycles versus what happened in the 80s. And I don't even know if that is even true. The game could be lying to me, you know. Could all be a fakery.
Dude, we had a Native American woman as the President of the United States.
Fakery! Fakery!
Pretty serious. We haven't done that in 2014.
Native American. Well, we have had an emperor. I'll take an emperor.
A tragic loss.
Tragic loss. Remember, it's trying to predict a 1980s judge. They're thinking that raping a 9-year-old gets probation, so hey, that's the standard.
Hey, he was a 19-year-old Native American who was lost and mired in alcohol, and, you know, he had some prior weight on his shoulders, man.
At least the most minor charge the game handed up was the political rapist. Wow. I cannot believe how many of you gave a slap on the wrist for a rape and assault charge with a deadly firearm. Did I? I don't think I did. Didn't I send him in prison? I don't remember what I did anymore.
So many cases. Judge J2 is spent.
Oh, man.
Maybe next time you'll tell me that
What person wants to play as a judge? All right, who paid money for that game? I want to know.
People. I have the floppies.
Did you pay money for that game?
Well, the game came out before I was born.
Would you have paid money for that game?
I didn't have money at the time. Yeah, I wasn't real.
You were alive in the 80s. Would you have paid money for that game?
Well, I was alive in the 80s, just not in 84.
Oh my god.
This guy!
I was happy about the 20 years in prison for the rape and attempted and murder with premeditation with a car bomb. That was death. Didn't we say death?
Yup.
That was a death one.
Mm-hmm.
Although personally, I don't believe in death penalty.
The first murder that came up, that was 20 years. That wasn't a rape murder case with a premeditated car bomb.
Right. Yeah, you're right.
You're right. You see, maybe next time you'll see that you have more time for a longer game than a shorter game, but then...
I was supposed to relax. Now you got me thinking about law and charges about sedition. I got to worry about John Adams coming after me now.
Yes, that's what'll happen. Paul Giamatti will reenact the role of John Adams. And
I was
right
literally thinking of Paul Giamatti. I was just because I watched that show. I watched the series again last week or so, and I was thinking that in my head. I'm like, this Paul Giamatti's coming to my door.
That's a great series. I really enjoyed that.
It was a really good series.
I think one of the most entertaining parts for me is the whole concept of how much effort it took for people to have intercourse with all those clothes on.
This is very true. Very true. Although, on the flip side, one of the grossest things that you really thought about, which was actuality, was the breast cancer surgery. Like, actual people, no thanks. Okay.
That's your revenge on the chat, right?
What's my revenge on the chat?
Mentioning that.
The
list of things they didn't need to think about today.
Breast cancer surgery in the I think it was like 1800, I think. Yeah. That was the thing. Although, you know what I thought about when I was watching that series? We don't do series like that often. Like, we don't like talking about founding fathers.
We don't?
I mean, like it's not an entertainment thing. You know?
No, it's not an entertainment thing. It's a historical thing.
Yeah, no. But what I'm saying is that even from an historical perspective, you don't normally see or people like. Okay, when was the last time you saw a movie specifically about George Washington? Like a movie or a television show.
George Washington isn't that interesting. It's more Abraham Lincoln. You could get Daniel Day-Lewis on the case.
Yeah. Founding fathers. The like John Adams, obviously, yeah. But like, was there ever a movie or television show about Thomas Jefferson or George Washington or the War of 1812? You know why we don't do the War about the 1812? You know why we don't do that? Because we lost it.
I need to sick SKS on you again. I need to tell him. I'm gonna have to send him straight to the end of this live broadcast. I stopped recording. No, I didn't. Sweet, I can refer him to this fucking timestamp.
No, but I'm serious though. I used to have a social studies substitute teacher. He's like, when I was in high school, he was 80 years old or so. And he was a Freemason, and this guy was like an idolizer of George Washington, and all he would talk about is just like how disrespectful the nation had become, especially in education when it came to the founding fathers. I was actually invited to a Freemason event. And it was one of the weirdest things that I've ever seen, because literally you think about in the old shows, you have the picture of George Washington up on the wall, overseeing everything, and there it was, and I'm like, oh my god, that really is a thing. That's really a thing. It's just one of those things where it's just like, wow, the time, like his time and our time, way different. Makes me think what's gonna happen 50 years from now, and I'm like, yep, this is not my world. I don't know what world this is.
Right, we need a new crime and punishment game. That's what J2 is saying.